The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is, Wednesday? Sure, that'll work. 10th day of July, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. Now, the first broadcast, that's private, members only, and those taking their 1-week free trial. If you haven't taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com, and at the very top of the page, there's a link. It says 5-day free trial, no credit card required. Click the link, fill out the registration form, hit submit, and we'll do our very best to get your desktop set up and your indicators indicating today. That means your trial will officially begin tomorrow. So you'll get Thursday and Friday. The weekend doesn't count against you. And then you'll get Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So in essence, it's really a 7-day free trial because you'll have access to the indicators over the weekend, and there are markets that trade over the weekend. Now, when the live training room ends let me hold on for a second. Probably when you take the free trial, you think what you're getting is 2 hours a day in the live training room. Not true. I mean, you are getting that, but you're getting everything else that our members get. You see, we run basically 24/7 here. You will have access to every single resource that our paying members have access to for 5 consecutive trading days, or in this case, 7 physical days. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's a couple different ways you can join this broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do this once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down the page to where it says Afternoon Broadcast. Click that link, fill out that 30-second registration form, and you're done. Not only will that get you in the same day, but then every trading day going forward, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In that email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. Now, the benefit of that is you'll have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there will be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy and you just can't join live, but you do want to get caught up later. Well, guess what? You can do both of those via our YouTube channel. It's really easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. You've already got the YouTube part memorized, so I guess really all you have to remember is the CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,600 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but thanks to the power of YouTube, you can see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Now, obviously, you're not going to listen to all of those, and we certainly don't expect you to. But just, grab a day at random. Listen, fast forward, listen and watch a little more. And then jump to another week, month, even year. Watch, fast forward, watch some more. Now, let me just say this. The more recent the broadcast, probably the more relevant it's going to be for you. But think about it. 8 years of history out there. And you can pick any single day you want and watch that broadcast in its entirety. Now, I'll be honest, in the beginning, I was pretty gung-ho. So what now is about an hour and a half to 2 hour a day broadcast. Back in the day, sometimes it would run like 4 hours. So anyway, I made a comment in the discussion group the other day that Stefan, one of our community members, he really gives back to the community by providing a lot of annotated charts throughout the day in our discussion group. And I said, I remember when I had that much fire in my belly. Now it's just mostly belly. I still crack myself up though, and that's a good thing. All right. I think I've told you everything I got to tell you except our schedule. We start each day with our daily devotional, word of prayer, some news, recap of the alerts. Then about 12:45, 12:50, Michael pops in, gives a recap of what happened today in the live training room. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, top of the hour, we go live on TradingView and do some live trading for 30 minutes. And then I come back, and if I haven't finished the alerts, I finish those up. And then I wrap things up with our good word for the day. Now, the devotional topic that we're in right now is The Chosen, Season 4. We're in day 5 of 7. Now, today's scripture is John 10, 1 through 21. I know it's kind of a lot, so you might want to sit down. Here we go, and I'm sharing from the Message translation. Let me set this before you as plainly as I can. If a person climbs over or through the fence of a sheep pen, instead of going through the gate, you know he's up to no good. A sheep rustler. The shepherd walks right up to the gate. The gatekeeper opens the gate to him, and the sheep recognize his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he gets them all out, he leads them and they follow because they are familiar with his voice. They won't follow a stranger's voice, but will scatter because they aren't used to the sound of it. Now, that's scripture, but it's also truth in the physical world. Go visit a sheep farm someday. You'll see what I'm talking about. Picking up in verse 6. Jesus told this simple story, but they had no idea what he was talking about. So he tried again. I'll be explicit. I am the gate for the sheep. All those others are up to no good. Sheep rustlers, every one of them. But the sheep don't listen to them. I am the gate. Anyone who goes through me will be cared for, will freely go in and out and find pasture. A thief is only there to steal and kill and destroy. I came so they can have real and eternal life, more and better life than they ever dreamed of. Verse 11, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd puts the sheep before himself, sacrifices himself if necessary. See, a hired man is not a real shepherd. The sheep mean nothing to him. He sees a wolf come and he runs for the hills, leaving the sheep to be ravaged and scattered by the wolf. He's only in it for the money. The sheep don't matter to him. Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. I know my own sheep, and my own sheep know me. In the same way, the Father knows me, and I know the Father. I put the sheep before myself, sacrificing myself if necessary. You need to know that I have other sheep in addition to those in this pen. I need to gather and bring them too. They'll also recognize my voice. Then it will be one flock, one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I freely lay down my life, and so I am free to take it up again. No one takes it from me. I lay it down of my own free will. I have the right to lay it down. I also have the right to take it up again. I received this authority personally from my Father. This kind of talk caused another split in the Jewish ranks. A lot of them were saying, he's crazy, a maniac, out of his head completely. Why bother listening to him? But others weren't so sure. Some of them said, those aren't the words of a crazy man. Can a maniac open blind eyes? Again, that was John chapter 10, verses 1 through 21 from the Message translation. Today I want to talk to you briefly about trusting your instinct to love. Our deepest instinct says we're built to love others. But that instinct often crumbles under pain. Suffering can compel us to distrust others and develop hard hearts. When religious leaders grow calloused, their communities soon spiral into fear, judgment, and contempt for their neighbors. Jesus confronts hard-hearted leaders without mincing words. He calls them thieves and robbers, emphasizing their consistent harm toward others. True leaders don't use or abuse people. And as the truest leader in history, Jesus says, I am the door, and I am the good shepherd. What do those images really mean? Imagine a fenced-in public sheepyard. It has one door for shepherds to enter or exit with their flocks. Inside the pen, everyone's sheep are mixed together. When it's time to leave, the shepherd stands at the door and makes a unique call with his own voice. Only his sheep respond, gathering by him at the door before following him out. I am the door suggests that any leader operating outside of Jesus' way is illegitimate. There's only one door. More directly, Jesus is telling highly revered religious leaders that they oppose God's will and lead their communities toward harmful, corrupting ways. I am the good shepherd drives the point home. We remember earlier shepherds in the biblical narrative, like Abraham, Joseph, Moses, David. Each lives like a faithful royal priest by blessing others, but each also invites corruption and harm. Eventually, the prophet Ezekiel rebukes Israel's leaders for consistently devouring their sheep. Ezekiel 34. But Jesus presents himself as the good shepherd, one who gives life rather than devouring it. He lays his life down for all people. When he calls us to give from our own lives for the well-being of others, or to love one another like he does, our deep and true human instinct hears something familiar. We can recognize his voice and know it's worth trusting. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for Jesus, our good shepherd, who calls us by name and leads us to abundant life. Help us to recognize his voice and follow his guidance, trusting in his protection and care. May we always remember that he laid down his life for us, and through him we find true peace and security. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Well, amen, and happy Wednesday to you. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow up 146 points. NASDAQ up 110. S&P 500 up 25. Russell 2000 up 10. No movers, no shakers, but they're all four green. And you know we like it when all four of those are the same color. As futures traders, they can be all red or all green, because we can be long, short, and long again all in the same hour. But when they're the same color, get better follow through. True story. All right, in the commodity basket, crude oil up $1.02, trading 82.43 last. That's a gain of well over 1.25%. Gold up $18.40, trading 23.8630 last. Silver up 11 cents, trading 31.17 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 251 points. The Shanghai dropped 20. The Hang Seng fell 51. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 53, the DAX up 171, which is almost 1%, and the CAC up 64, which is also almost 1%. So that gave us a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK, and so far it's a green for Radio Wednesday here in the US of A. So let's talk news. When it comes to valuing and analyzing Tesla stock, Wall Street analysts, at least the bullish ones, say the company is more than an automaker. And one area of outside growth for Tesla, beyond its car business, could be energy. In its second quarter production and delivery report, Tesla said that it deployed 9.4 gigawatt hours of battery energy storage, its highest quarterly amount ever, and more than double the amount of battery storage the company deployed in the first quarter. Now, let me pause this news article and just ask a question that popped into my head. Have you ever gone to the store and bought that value pack of batteries? I mean, like gracious, who will ever need 48 batteries? But they're so deeply discounted at that quantity. Figure, man, let me just invest in my future here. But then you notice something. By the time the pack's half empty, seems like those batteries don't last as long. And by the time you get down to the last two in the pack, they won't even run your TV remote. Now, I don't know if Tesla's energy storage works that way. You know, maybe it can sit 100 years and not lose any juice at all. Or maybe it can. It's just a question that I don't have the answer to. Tesla's energy storage business, part of Tesla Energy, includes installations as small as Powerwall batteries for the home to massive mega pack storage facilities meant for utilities and municipalities to store large amounts of energy for deployment at peak energy usage times. While a Powerwall typically holds around 12.2 kilowatt hours of usable energy, or enough to power a small home for a day, one megapack installation can hold 3.9 megawatt hours of energy, enough to power 3,600 homes for 1 hour. See how they play with those numbers? One's a day and the other's an hour. Just point that out. Though Tesla only booked $1.6 billion in revenue from its energy storage business in the first quarter, the company reported a healthy $403 million in gross profit from this business, good for a gross margin of 24.6%, and that's a good margin in any business. Tesla's overall gross profit was $3.7 billion in Q1, with a gross margin of only 17.4%, down from 19.3% a year ago. The drop in gross margin was due to Tesla's EV price cuts, which were meant to spur demand and have been eating into profits over the past year. So while I think there might be a future for this battery storage business, I don't know if these Powerwalls, are they recharged by solar? I don't know. I've never had one. I'm just curious. Well, anyway, moving on. Saudi, let me say it right, Saudi Aramco started the sale of triple tranche dollar debt, extending the oil-rich kingdom's debt spree as it brings in cash to help fund projects. The world's biggest oil exporter is selling dollar bonds for the first time since 2021, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. Now, I don't want to go political here, but depending upon how this election in November turns out, they will no longer be the world's biggest oil exporter. So, a sudden rush to bring in as many dollars or whatever currency they're taking in. Now, the world's biggest oil exporter is selling dollar bonds for the first time since 2021. The debt has 10, 30, and 40-year maturities, according to a person with knowledge of the matter who asked not to be identified. Initial pricing thoughts announced after calls with investors are at about 140, 180, and 195 basis points over treasuries for the three tranches, respectively. Aramco is seeking to raise at least $3 billion and may increase the size, depending on investor demand. Saudi Arabia's government and affiliated companies have borrowed vast amounts this year, topping China as the biggest issuer of international debt among emerging markets. The government, which needs funds to help cover an expected budget shortfall resulting from an ambitious economic diversification plan, has accounted for more than half of the total debt sold by Saudi entities this year. I think somebody smells fresh rain on the horizon. Don't you love that when you walk outside, there's not a cloud in the sky yet, but you can smell it? The rain is coming. Microsoft and Apple have dropped their plans to take board roles at OpenAI in a surprise decision that underscores growing regulatory scrutiny of big tech's influence over artificial intelligence. Microsoft, which invested $13 billion in the ChatGPT creator, will withdraw from its observer role on the board, the company said in a letter to OpenAI on Tuesday, which was seen by Bloomberg News. Apple was due to take up a similar role, but an OpenAI spokesperson said the startup won't have board observers after Microsoft's departure. Regulators in the US and Europe had expressed concerns about Microsoft's sway over OpenAI, applying pressure on one of the world's most valuable companies to show that it's keeping the relationship at arm's length. Microsoft has integrated OpenAI services into its Windows and Copilot AI platforms, and like other big US tech companies, is banking on the new technology to help drive growth. Now, speaking of Windows Copilot, it's recording every picture you take, every keystroke you make, log into your bank, it's all recorded. Now, thanks to one of our very long-time members, Cliff. He alerted us to this in a members-only workshop the other night. So I did some research and I found out how to remove, not just remove the little link, it's that little ribbon thing down there on your browser. Not just to remove that, but to literally remove the whole Copilot thing from your computer. If you have Windows 10 Pro, it's very simple. If you have Windows 10 Home version, it's a little more challenging, and you gotta edit your registry. And if you don't know what you're doing, you might ask somebody who's a little techie to do it for you. It could be a neighbor. I mean, you don't need a professional IT guy. But you need someone who is comfortable editing the registry of your computer. Because when you edit that registry, oh man, if you get one period, one comma, one space in the wrong place, the whole thing don't work. So now with Microsoft 11, which I don't have, I don't know. Obviously, I didn't bother figuring out how to do that. But all you got to do is Google, how do I remove Windows Copilot from Windows 10? And you'll get back several videos. And the one that popped to the top worked for me. Okay. But all that said and done, let's jump into a less than stellar Logic 247 recap. We're in week 310. We've issued over 17,000 individual alerts. Valerie did this recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It will get updated later today or tomorrow morning. At the time of the recap, we had issued 36 alerts. One never triggered. We were still waiting on the outcome of 13. So that's only 22 actionable alerts, of which 6, or 27%, would have been stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process we teach all of our members in their private one-on-one mentoring sessions. Over the last 310 weeks and over 17,000 alerts, we've averaged 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out, again based on market structure, and that simple process we teach all of our members in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. So is the week off to a bumpy start? Yep. Now, you heard me complain Monday and Tuesday about the mixed markets and the lack of follow-through. Oh, there's evidence. But I just have to remind myself that not too many weeks ago, we had 0% stop out. And I live to trade another day. Fair enough? Now, the logic alerts are used to help you learn how to read the chart. Their purpose is not so you can just trade and not have to learn how to trade. They're designed to help you learn to read the chart. Before you can learn anything, you first have to learn how to read, right? No matter when first grade, before the teacher could teach you anything else, they had to teach you how to read. Most kids today can read by the time they hit preschool or kindergarten. But you got to be able to read the textbooks, to learn all the other stuff, right? Would we all agree that's the primary stepping stone? Well, that's what the logic alerts do. They teach you how to read the chart, how to speak the language of the markets. Once you master that, then you've got the CTAs. Now, the logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. But the CTAs are issued once per session as a static report shortly after the Globex Open. We all know this is the Wednesday session, but it began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. 10 minutes after the open, all of our members had all of these targets. Okay? First thing you do when the report comes out is make note of where price is on whatever markets you actually trade. Go to the 30-minute chart of the markets you trade and make a mark where price is at the time of the report. It'll always be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target, a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. Price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. Price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. BBC simply stands for bull, bear, cross. It's the green line you see on all my charts. No matter what time frame, the green line is the BBC. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. Always relative to whatever time frame you're looking at, but for the purpose of the alerts, it's always the 30-minute chart. Now with the logic alerts, you get an entry price, an initial target, additional targets, and a final trade to target. With the CTAs, you take what you learned with logic, and now you learn to look left yourself to spot those targets or obstacles, whatever you prefer to call them. And you learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Remember, price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night till they close Friday afternoon. If price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the weekly zone above. Price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the weekly zone below. Published the zones since December 14th of 2009, almost 15 years. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern for our members and trial members. And once they're published Monday morning, carved in stone for the entire week, they do not change in any way whatsoever. Once the CTAs are published each day, they don't change. Okay? So, let's get over to the daily chart. Now you're probably thinking, I don't trade the daily chart, me either. I go there to see what the deep pockets are up to. Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has to do with account size. See, institutional traders have accounts so big and they trade in such incredible size that when they trade, they literally move price. So if you'll train yourself to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever it is you trade, it can be futures, it can be stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, doesn't matter. Spend 2 minutes, see what the deep pockets are doing, and then just do what they do long enough to get your goal for the day. I know that sounds pretty simple. Thank you. We have one major obstacle overhead or target, 56.71. At which point, I will then redraw the fib extensions. Remember, we consolidated for 8 days at the 62% fib extension. Now we're almost, what's today's high? 63.5. Okay, so we need to adjust this for we have a new all-time historic high again today. 62.5. Okay, so I got within a point. I'm good enough with that for now. I'll work on it later. The actual high, 63.5. But if I go messing with it, it'll just frustrate me. Okay? Now, I want you to notice this step line. It's starting to lean to the right a little bit. It hasn't crossed blue and climbing yet. When the black step line crosses blue and climbing, we expect to pull back to the BBC. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC. Bull bear cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish. The pullback to the BBC, remember price always reverts to the mean, pullback holds more often than not. The vertical line separates today, Wednesday, from Tuesday. Back here's Monday. Now, I explained yesterday how in a mentoring session, I drew these three windows of opportunity. These two filled. This one filled again. And then this one filled on the way up, as we had laid it out. And when you become a member, I'll do one-on-one mentoring sessions with you, and I'll teach you how to do the exact same thing. It's all part of learning how to read the chart. All right, we got a humdinger of a day going, right? Although there was no mover or shakers, but anywho, here's where we opened last night. Price was trapped. Resistance overhead, support below. So we consolidated, and then we finally started our move up. This candle opened at 35 and a quarter, and it ran to 38. Consolidated for two candles, continued onto the zone. Now, when price reaches a weekly trading zone, 70% of the time you're going to get this consolidation. 20% of the time you're going to get this rejection. 10% of the time you're going to get the slice. This is where a 30-minute candle slices through the zone like it's not even there. But when it runs out of steam, it retraces back to the zone it sliced through and continues in the direction of the slice. Had you been tempted here, and I hope you weren't, 33 and a quarter down to 30.75, you could have got your goal for the day, but look left. You got obstacles. You got obstacles. And where did the market finally see? Why did it stop falling? Right there. Right there. You were given that yesterday. Remember, the vertical line separates today from yesterday. And yesterday started at 6 p.m. Eastern last night. On the Dow, here's where we opened, trapped between resistance and support. We broke the support and came within a tick or so of hitting that short target. From 75 down to 55, that would be goal for the day. Then we get above the BBC. We get a leg, a retracement, a leg, a retracement, and then this huge leg that topped out. Now look left at my cursor. So far, we failed to take out that high. Is that a potential sign of weakness? It is. However, now that the market has retraced, sort of backed up and got a running start, we could easily take it out and hit the zone. Remember, been above this zone already this week. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. The next zone overhead is at 40,240. Okay? So lots of room to run on the upside. But if we get above this zone, you got resistance, potential resistance, potential resistance, potential resistance, and need I say, potential resistance. On the Russell, here's where we opened last night, trapped, support below, resistance above. Finally break to the upside, okay, consolidate at the zone, and then bam, hit the long target. Resistance always sends the market looking for support. When price drops to the BBC or pulls up to the BBC, When it pulls up, we expect resistance. When it drops, we expect support. When price pulls up to a weekly zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And so this high right here can be found right over here. Take out this high, you got potential resistance here. So let price get up to about 2067 and trade to 2069. That's 2 points. Goal for the day. In Q, here's where we opened, right above the zone, blue and climbing below us. We waddled and finally touched the target, and then made our way up to here. And then we pulled back to the BBC. Remember, the pullback holds more often than not. And then bang, we hit the target. Resistance. Resistance sends us to support, the BBC. Now we're in price discovery mode. The next zone is way up here at 21,185. Crude oil. Here's where we opened last night. Gap below, blue and climbing, which turned it to red and falling. And from 81.60, 81.50, target, goal for the day. Then we continued falling. If you care to look left, you'll find out why. Buyers came in, rallied us up to where? Previous resistance. That dropped us to previous support. And then it was just a jingle jangle mess until we got above the BBC, got the perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. Bam. All the way up to the long target. And then, look what happened. We sliced through the zone, but when that candle ran out of steam, we retraced back to the zone we sliced through, and then continued in the direction of the slice. How sweet is that? Now we're sitting on top of a zone. We've reached down to blue and climbing and found support. No, it looks, it's a low here. 82.11. We didn't quite make it to blue and climbing. So this is all a little iffy. And if you look left, you got resistance, resistance. So careful on the upside. And on the downside, well, I just wouldn't do anything right now. A short trade would be a counter trend trade. And I don't teach new people how to counter trend trade. Once you master trading with the trend, I'll then teach you how to counter trend trade. Michael should be here momentarily. Gold, here's where we opened, above the BBC with blue and climbing, and look what had happened. It took us right to the target. We then consolidated at the target for hours. Remember, these are 30-minute candles. Then we ran right up to the weekly zone that was published. All of these zones were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. These black dotted lines are the zones. This zone is 2391/92. This is 2411/12. Why don't I put both numbers on there? I used to, but I like a clean chart. When I see 2391, I know that the zone is 91.92. I know the zone here is 66/67. Just keeps my chart cleaner. Now, when blue and climbing gets directly above price, it becomes potential resistance because it may be on its way to turning into red and falling. which is bearish. This pullback to the BBC may end up not holding. Now, the pullback holds more often than not, but eventually it's going to trade through. And there he is.
I am here.
Okay, guys, we will pick up with silver when I return. But for now, Michael is going to give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. Then we'll trade live on TradingView for 30 minutes. I'll come back, finish the recap, and wrap things up with our good word for the day. Been a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your questions, and keep them coming. All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 10th day of July, 2024. If you have not taken a free trial lesson, you want to go here to mytradingIQ.com and click on this purple button right here. You click on that purple button, you'll be brought to this registration page. On this page, all that we ask for is your first name, last name, email, and phone number. Fill out this little form. Down here at the bottom gives you an trading machine ID if you have one. Gives you a TradingView login ID if you have one of those. Click on register. Once you hit register, you will be sent all that you need to get into the room in the morning. If you give us those IDs down there, then you'll be able to activate your indicators too. We'll activate them, and you just have to apply them. If you happen to need help applying them to your charts, all you have to do is ask. Okay, you can send an email to support@cfrn.net or support@mytradingiq.com. Either one of those will get your response, and we will help you get everything running on your desktop. I was just checking this to see which one of these I actually drew on this morning, and I think it was this one. So jump back over here. Wait, I just want to look at one more thing on that really quick. My nephew was asking about this and where I thought it was going to go. And I said the neckline is at 170. If it breaks the neckline, it should keep going up. Okay. And it did. So that's all good. All right, back in here now. Apparently we had some price appreciation here in the break that I was not privy to because I wasn't looking at it. But if I actually had to get into the trial. Now let me show you what we did this morning. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Almost all NQ trades today. Today, the 10th day of July 2024, we made 54 ticks on the NQ. We lost 10 on the Russell, made 1 on the YM. Did nothing on the ES. We're plus 225 overall in the morning session. Took 8 minutes and 1 trade. Again, these numbers, these single-digit numbers and these single-digit numbers in here are going to make these numbers down here go up a lot faster. All right. This morning took 8 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. That was up $2,850, and we took a total of 12 trades this morning. So on a month now, with one contract, we're up $1,860 over 7 business days, averaging $265 per contract per morning session. On the year, we're at $48,945. That's over 127 business days, averaging $385 per contract per morning session. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you would add 1 contract per month, so far this year, you would have only had to work 44.38 hours, and you would have averaged $1,449 per hour. If you started in January of last year with me, you'd be at 19 contracts right now and averaging $6,400 per hour so far this year. Okay, that's this year. That's good stuff. Now the trades. Let's get into the actual trades. All right, we'll start out with the YM. We had just a couple of trades on the YM. Didn't really get any traction on it at all this morning. I didn't even see the trades outlined. One of them was a break even, and one of them was a +1 tick. Those were our trades on the YM this morning. I don't see them. See them here. Are they on this one? I don't know why I have 2 of these open today. I'm gonna fix that. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is the one where we got 1 tick right here, and this was our break even right there. And that was it for the morning session. Let me go to here and just close this. Okay, I'll go back here. And that was all that we did this morning. Now, that's not all that there was. There was a blue arrow there that worked out well, a blue arrow there that worked out well, a blue arrow there that worked out well. YM really got sideways here during the morning session. We ended slight incline right here. Then during the break, it really started to move, it looks like. Sideways again, but either way, it was pretty good in there. All right, now the Russell. We had just the one trade on the Russell, and we stopped out on that one right here, minus 10 ticks. Now, this is what I was expecting out of this leg right here. I was expecting it to go down this far. Those of you guys, Mark is one that was talking to this morning about that. I said it should go down this distance right here is how far it should go down. I was basing that on that leg length and that leg length. And it did go down there eventually. I didn't get the trade, but over here, I did take this one and it stopped me out right away. Minus 10 ticks on that. A couple of purple arrows. Now, I've been telling you guys over the past few days that have been listening anyway. If the ribbon is spread, the purple arrows are usually pretty good to take. If the ribbon is spread, all right, doesn't matter if you're in no trade zone or anything like that. The slingshot's going to be going in the right direction, and the outer band's going to be the right color, and you're not going to hit the black line. All right, everything's going to be in your favor. If the ribbon is spread, those are usually really good trades, those purple arrows. Okay, usually. You can get too many of them. Purple, blue ones, that means the ribbon spread and it came out of the oversold. Okay, all right, that was the YM. Now, let's get into the ES. We didn't do anything with the ES this morning, but let's just look at what did happen. These are all-time highs right here. We just made an all-time high on the ES. All right, now what happened, is that all the into yesterday? That is all yesterday. What happened this morning was really nothing. We had one blue arrow right here that I didn't want to take because I knew it would have been a break-even trade. I had a really good feeling anyway that it would be a break-even trade. We'd go 4 ticks in profit, come back down to take me out, and that's exactly what would happen. So I didn't take it, and it did end up putting in a higher swing, new all-time high, decent pullback, leg length right here, guys, leg length. Okay, this pullback was not a very deep pullback compared to the last two pullbacks. Not a very deep pullback. It's saying it's got momentum in it. So the leg length again should happen again. This pullback here, same distance as that pullback. You should get another leg length, the same size. That's all you have to work with right now. When you're going into all-time highs, leg lengths are all you have to work with. You don't have anything on the left to go back and look at. So you have the leg length right there. Okay, there's the leg length right there. There it is again right there. Here it is again right here. And here it is again right here. By the end of the session, I would bet that we get up to that level right there. I would bet that we get right up to there by the end of the session. That was the ES today. We didn't do a single thing with it. We had one blue arrow that I didn't take. The NQ now. On the NQ, we use the NQ in the lesson plan today because they only have the BBC and the BB3 showing in it. I'm just gonna hold and press Alt and back on that. Okay. All right, here we go. On the NQ now. I'm sorry. I couldn't find my dog earlier, and she just showed up with my shoe in her mouth. Anyway, on the NQ, our first trade of the day. This was the very first one. We got our goal. We picked up 30 ticks on that one. Had a break even there. Followed up with a 4-tick trade right there to get me to 34. Another 30-tick trade over here to get me to 64. And a break even, and then another break even, and a stop out right there. Put me down to 44. Then a break even and another stop out right there. That was kind of a stop out to the tick right there that it got me. All right. This one, they both ended up going, well, this one didn't really go far in favor, just enough to stop to break even. But this one ended up putting in a higher swing. This one stopped me out to the tick before it went up enough to get the stop to break even, and then it pulled back. But either way, at the end of that trade, I was at 24. Then right here, I got a 30-tick trade, getting back to 54, and then it was just break even after that. Break even, break even. I'm getting into the break here now, talking about break even. There was one blue arrow here, one blue arrow long trade right there. And that was it. That's all she wrote today. All right. There was something that I thought I had to do. anyway, I guess that's it. It's 1 o'clock, so we can get into live trading, and he's excuse me. I'm getting into the live trading, and and open up the live stream on YouTube. I don't have that open right now. Hang on, let me do it right here. YouTube.com/CFRN. That is us. All right. So I'm in here on youtube.com/CFRN. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. We are here to answer your questions. Now, on the NQ, we're pulling back, testing the ribbon. The outer bands are spread out a little bit. We don't need, this is one of those black arrows. It didn't hit the ribbon, that's why it's black. But if it pulls back just a tiny bit in here, about halfway down this bar, I'll take that trade right now. Okay, 41.75 looks right in there, 42.50 maybe. Yeah, 42.50. I'll take that right now if it pulls back to it. Now, this is something that I've been telling you guys about. Look how close that was to give me 30 ticks. Oh, that was so close. That is something that I've been telling you guys about in the room in the morning. This one was so close to the ribbon. If I would have given it just one more tick, I would have just gotten 30 ticks on that. But the pullback here, on the black arrow, I don't like to take the black arrows on their own, but on the pullback of the black arrow, that would have given me all the way down to the ribbon and the BBC. I'm sorry, to the BB3 before it hit my stop. My stop would have been down below here. Okay, so it's going to happen again right here. If it doesn't hit the ribbon right here, it's going to happen again. It's going to give another black arrow right now. If it doesn't hit the ribbon, it's going to go down one more tick, and then it'll hit the ribbon, and then we'll have a blue arrow. Now, I was talking about this in the room this morning. Okay, so look for the pullback on the black arrow right there. Bang. Okay, right there. Now, what this does, if you enter on the pullback on the black arrow right here, now you're in a better entry. If you get the blue arrow right now as it pops off of the ribbon, you're in a better entry. Okay, and I did, and I am, and my stop's already going to break even on that blue arrow. You see what I mean? I was saying that the past couple of weeks I've been trying to describe that, but I never actually got to show you. I just showed you. Okay, so I'm going to lock in 4 ticks on this. Now I have a 30 tick target, but the swing high is just right here. So I'm going to lock in some more. I'm going to lock in 12 ticks on that right now. 30 tick target is above the high of the day right here. I believe that's an all-time high up there. I'm actually going to push it beyond the 30 tick target. Where's the 30 tick target? 0.25. So that's a 38 tick target right there. And we'll see what happens here. Now the leg length is going to get fulfilled right here, just a little bit above the swing high. So I got 12 ticks locked in right here, and I'm happy with 12 ticks if he gives it to me. But I'd be much happier with 38. It's 19 contracts, so it's $95 a tick for me right now. Okay, and there it goes. Oops. I'm going to lock in some more. And there it goes, all 38. Ding, ding, ding. Did you see that? Now you guys are probably saying, why'd you pick 38? I was kind of eyeballing this leg length right here. Okay, I'll draw it for you. And it was this one right here. The pullback on this was less than the pullback on that, so I thought we were going to have momentum, and I thought we would complete this leg length right here. From there up to there. We haven't actually completed it yet, but I was thinking we'd get through the swing high and then a little bit more. Okay. There it is. It's almost up there. Right there is what I was thinking. And then it should have a decent pullback. So that was a pretty easy trade. Is Valerie in the background here anywhere? No, she's not. If we were recording that, if we're not, then that would have been a good one to put on the website. But I guess she doesn't do the upturn sessions. There it is up to that swing high level. And now if it pulls back, That would be a great opportunity right there. This one over here, see, I said earlier, it's going to hit that probably in this session is what I was thinking. And we're just about there. All-time highs all around. All right. It's only 1:05. All that happened in 5 minutes. Okay. I feel like a lot happened right there. Does anybody have any questions? I know I asked that 1,000 times, but one of these days, somebody's going to ask me a good question. I must be just answering all the questions. All right. So we're waiting for a pullback now. Okay, we've got a nice new leg length right here, and we're waiting for the pullback. Hoping for it to do it again. I was going to push that target out a little further than 38, but 38 was right about here. That was good. Remember what I was saying this morning, those of you guys that were there this morning, about the pullback and the diamond principle? Remember my diamond principle in the blues, in the greens, and the blacks? Well, the diamond principle goes like this. Those of you guys who don't know, it goes like this. This is the start of the diamond. From there, back up to there. This is the depth of the diamond. That is the reach of the diamond. That's what I was looking for. I was eyeballing it. It was roughly 38 ticks. You guys remember that from the morning? Any of you guys that were there this morning? If I do the exact difference, that right there would be, would be that on top of that. So be right here, right about where my target was. Okay. I don't know exactly where I got out, but it was pretty darn close to that right there. And you see how that would complete the diamond? So it went from here down to here, back up to here, and then to there. So right over there is where it completed it. Now, it's just about to give us another trade right here. We're in the oversold. It's only hitting it's only hitting the blue so far. It's not hitting the black. So an up close on this is a guaranteed trade right now. It doesn't have to come out of the oversold. It's a guaranteed trade on the up close. And doing the same diamond, if I could grab that and drag it over here, I would. Doing the same diamond, be looking at right here. That's 877, the way it is right now. Eyeballing it like I did. Okay, that's what you'd be looking at. Does that make sense? You got to have a reason to enter the trade. And using that diamond principle gives you something to work with. All right, so I'm waiting for the up close right here. We still haven't hit the black line, and we're just waiting for the up close. Now that it's hit the black line, you have to come out of the oversold. Now, I went over this morning again in the morning session. Because we're in an uptrend, this is the kind of thing that I'll be proactive on, and I'll put a buy stop limit order on. Okay, this is the kind of trade I'd put a buy stop limit order on. 4 points from the bottom of the bar. Bottom of the bar is here at 250, so I put one on at 650. Okay. And there it is. And minute 675. And where should it go up to? I thought it was, oh, there's 67, 68, something like that, all the way up to the high. Exactly up to the high is where it should go. High of the day. Oops. That's where it should go. I'm still in it, right? This is where it should go, all the way up there. Now it hasn't gone 8 ticks into profit yet, so I can't bump the stop yet. But when I can, I will, like that. Now it's gone 8 ticks into profit, stops at break even. So now to complete the diamond, where's it gotta go? I drew it for you. Yeah, we'll do it again. This all the way down to here, all the way back up to here. Now, if you take the leg length involved in that, go back here. Okay, I ended up with the break even. I'm going to cancel it. Oh, I did cancel it. We'll go back here and we'll take the leg length from right here up to there. And then we'll add that on up there. So I was eyeballing it up here. Okay, so I was off by a little bit, off by 5 points. But it's because it drew back a little deeper than I thought it was going to. But that's where it should go, right here to complete the pattern. Okay, that's where it should go. You see, and the green arrows, the blues are my favorite because you can be proactive and be right every time being proactive. The green arrows are not my favorite. They're my second favorite. You can still be proactive with the trend. If you're not with the trend, you have to wait. But they're the ones that pull back so deep that it might just snap and go in the opposite direction. But this is what it should do. All right? Does that make sense? Those of you guys that are watching, anybody that's watching, you have to have a reason to enter the trade. And for us, it was the green arrows right here. Okay. Bouncing off the ribbon with the green arrow, went enough to get our stop to break even. And you see it's not completing the pattern right now. It's stopping right here. This is the all-time high, and it just stopped right there. So that's okay. It's pulling back. Look at the ES. The ES got up within 1 tick where I drew that line. So 1 tick is pretty darn close. I'd say it satisfied the leg length that I was talking about earlier. Right? I do that at the start of this session. 15 minutes ago. And it's just the way the markets work over and over and over. Okay, did you see, like, it was the same thing here with, let me slide this stop back over here. It was the same thing here as well. That's why I drew that up there. Now, drawing it that way, it doesn't give you the same kind of look as when it's happening in real time. It doesn't give you the same kind of look. Because I'm projecting it's going to get out to this level on the wrong market. But I'm projecting it's going to get out to this level. And that look came from over here. The leg length that I was looking at was down here. So the diamond in that case, it was not as pretty as that last one that happened in real time. The one that actually did do what we wanted it to do. But the diamond would have been something like this. It would have been from here down to here. And the move back up was a lot steeper than the move down. But this is what I was looking at. That right there. And so this was the level right here. This space right here is what it had to do again. Okay. And that's what it did do again. Right up to here. Right. And then it had a weak pullback right here. So then this space was a little smaller, but I was going with the same space from right here to get it back up into here. And that's how I drew that. This space right here. Right there. See what I mean? So to complete this diamond, it just had to get up to this level here. And then the pullback, again, this pullback was a shallow pullback, but using the same spot right here, from there up to there, or from here up to here. That's what this is right here, there to there. And so ideally what it should do right now in this pullback, the same thing, right? From wherever this pullback stops, and it looks like it's going to stop right here, from wherever this pullback stops, you should take this leg bring it over here, and shoot up to here. Complete this one. See what I mean? I like it so much when you guys say stuff because I feel like I'm actually talking to somebody and not just talking to myself. But it's for people who are relatively new, who've never seen me do this stuff before. That's why I do it over and over and over again. Some of you guys have seen me say it all, but do it over and over. But every now and then I'll say something a little bit different, like I did this morning. I think the way that I said about the taking risk on being proactive on the green arrows on the leg up and not on the leg down. I don't think I've ever said that out loud before. Every now and then something will come up that I haven't said out loud before. All right, let's go back into the trading. So this right here, this black arrow, now you have a little bit of room to get up to the swing high, but you have a lot of room to get down to the ribbon. So that's not one that I would take right there. I wouldn't want to take that black arrow right there. I like them to be closer to the ribbon so you can get it on the pullback of the black arrow and still have room to get back and hit the ribbon before you stop out. I know I've said that in a partners meeting before. I'll probably say it again tomorrow in the partners meeting. But I have another meeting coming up here at 3 o'clock. So I guess 1:30 all the way to 3. I guess that gives me a much time. All right, so we wait. See, this one didn't end up going right here. It's going sideways, consolidating a little bit. It'll probably move up after this. Okay, I want to go look at one thing over here. See if this did make a leg up beyond the neckline. Okay, when it broke 170, it ran up to 173. And now it's pulled back a little bit. This is not good, this pullback part right here. But anyway, that was something somebody else is trading and they asked me about it. All right. Now we wait. Wait and wait and wait. Let's look at Bitcoin. I haven't looked at that yet today. This is Bitcoin, right? Now what are these? These little symbols are earnings, aren't they? Retail sales. Yeah, okay, these are news events coming up. Powell. The inflation, CPI and PPI. Don't be in the markets tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. or Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. or Friday afternoon at noon. You don't want to be in any grains Friday afternoon at noon. The WASD comes out. And so Bitcoin's really gotten weak right here. It's dropped down lower than I thought it was going to. And this is the danger zone down here now. Okay, if it gets down here below 50, it's in trouble. It's in big trouble. I suspect something's going to happen here pretty soon. That will probably push it. So these might be good buying opportunities here. Politically, I suspect something's going to happen soon. We'll see. All right, sideways, and we're just waiting here. It's 1:19, so I have 11 minutes left. I have to sneeze again. I don't know what it was that I did the other day. If you're watching in YouTube, I didn't go out there and see. I don't know if Dwayne's attention on YouTube, see if there's any questions. Okay, all right. Just checking. I just want to go out and look and see in case you had stepped away. All right, so if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button right here. When you click on the purple button, you will be sent to this registration page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Fill out these things. They're all just little drop downs. Just fill them out honestly, okay? If you say that you are a CFRN partner, you're not going to get any information, not even an email from us. All right. Or you won't get any, like a trial person would. So make sure you answer these appropriately. If you have a machine ID, give us a machine ID for NinjaTrader. If you have a login ID for TradingView, give us your login ID for TradingView. If you have any of the IBs under StoneX, that could be Gain, could be Canon Capital, it could be Global Futures, it could be Zaner 360, it could be Daniel's Trading, DT Pro, that's what we use. It could be just, there's like 9 other ones that I didn't mention. Any of those guys, if you have any of that software, then you need to go out to the indicator store to download the software. Okay, it's in your indicator store. And you'll have, just by downloading it, you'll automatically get activated for the trial. Unless, of course, you have the wrong version. If you have the wrong version, you have the wrong version of DT Pro or whatever it is. I think the latest version that went out was 380 something, 380 dot something. If you have that version, that's a bad version. I think we actually put it in the website here. It's under fix right here. If you have this one, 308, this version is no good. 415.308.303 is no good. And I don't know that anyone after that is any good either. You'd have to roll back to a version before that. That's something we should probably check and see if any version after that still works. Because our stuff just stopped working on that version, and they would not take credit for it.
The version I'm running, I think, is so old, I'm surprised it still works. But it does.
Yeah, I had to roll back at one point. This version right here is, of course, I haven't. Yeah, this version is 415.215.299. 415.215.299. 415.215. 308 is the one that's no good. 215 is definitely different. And I know, Mike R., didn't you have a version issue? If you're still out there, I know it says you're out there, but did you have a version 2? That's the version you can't have. Okay. 415.308.303, or probably anything newer than that. Yes, you. Didn't you have an issue last week or the week before with an upgrade or an install of DT Pro? And the version number, we had to check the version number. I know we never get around to fixing it, but
I'm on version 4.7.326.161.
yes, that is an issue. So even in demo, Mike R, the 4.15.308, what version are you on in demo? I mean, I know this is live right here, but I think the demo had a problem too. If you got
Yeah, that's the live version I'm running, is the 4.7.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah.
That is really old.
I know I got to update it. I'm afeared.
Don't. As long as your DOM's working.
As long as it's working, that's right.
Yeah, if it's not broken, then don't fix it.
Okay.
All the stuff we need is functional. That's why I don't do updates at all if I don't have to. If it's working. It's like, you don't go and pave roads that are perfectly fine. Don't have any holes or lumps or anything like that. Repave them for nothing. Change tires that are brand new.
Mike, go to the control panel of DT Pro. Go over to the help tab. But Michael will show you, maybe. I don't know if he can or not.
I'll show you. Yeah, I think I can. Here. Do it down here at the bottom. Let me move that and that here. Bring it over here. Okay. If you go to help like that, and then go to about, you see it way down at the bottom of your screen. Go to help and about like that. It'll be in the about thing. Okay. Here's mine, 415.215.299. Help and about from your control panel.
ES just triggered an alert.
It sure did. And that's kind of what we were looking for right there on the ES. Pull back and test the ribbon. It pulled back kind of deep, but pull back beyond this, but that's a black arrow right there. I am long. I took the long. And it should get up here. It should complete this leg up. And what we were just saying is it should complete this leg up, actually. Up to there is what it should do. Now, I don't know if it's going to do it in the next couple of minutes, but that's what it should do as we push forward here. You see, the Russell in the YM turned to shorts right over here. The NQ just gave a short. Now, this is something that I was saying this morning. When this is the down leg of the bigger up leg, it's the pullback leg of the bigger up leg. Okay, so these kind of trades you don't expect as much out of, and you have to wait for the green arrow to trigger. Wait until it gets out of the overbought to take the trade. Now I'm short, and I'm throwing my stop at break even right now, and I'm break even. Okay, and I'm in the ES trade too, so right there. The Russell's about to give a trade. Now, what I was just saying a minute ago about this is don't expect too much out of this. And the reason is because this is a pullback leg in the bigger uptrend legs. Okay. This is what I was saying a few minutes ago. And the market's going up and then down and then up and then down and then up is what you should expect. So this is this part right here. This is this part right in here. All right. So don't expect too much from it. Try to stop really close, really quick, and give it a chance. Right now, the ES has got numbers up at 68.75. That ES trade. I'll show it to you in a sec. Let me get rid of this, and let me throw my stop at break even. Here's the ES trade. Okay, I'm gonna throw my stop at break even on that. And 68.75. Just a minute ago, there were numbers right there. So it's gonna hit that number right there, 68.75. 4.10. Okay, let me go and take a look at something with that. Yeah, I see that. Hang on, there's something else I gotta check right here. Let me hit erase all drawings on that. Go back to this. Let me pin this to the top and move it like that. Okay. So what we're expecting out of this is it's going to get all the way up here. So I got just a couple of ticks, but we're expecting this to get all the way up here to 75 at some point. Now the swing high is right here at 70.5. Now, the whole diamond thing that I just drew in there. Now, that spot that I had that order on was like right here. Okay, that it was showing me something in the DOM. It's great when that coincides with the swing high or something like that. But the whole diamond principle that I was just talking about, this down to here, right up to there, right? That's about where I had that order. And then the rest of the way up to there, back down to there. That's what you expect out of a trade, right? Okay, so let me go back here for 1 second and on this page. You're at 4.10, you said, Mike? 4.10? Okay, so that should not be the issue. If you're on 4.10, then that's not the issue. That's good. Oh, but that's demo. I don't remember having the problem in demo. Do you guys remember having the problem in demo? I remember we had the problem in live, but I don't remember having it in demo. I don't know.
I honestly don't remember.
I don't know what the very latest version of demo is. Let me open up demo. Let's see. Not that the one that I have is the latest one, but hang on. Oh crap! It's 1:30. I ran out of time. All right. Well, I wish I had more time to watch this all play out, guys, but I don't today. Mike R, we should get together if your demo is version 4.10, then that's not the issue, right? Because mine's just opening up and mine is saying version about 4.14.308, 4.14.308 demo. Okay, and the thing that you don't want is 4.15.308 live.
When you open your platform, it always prompts you to roll forward to the most current version. Don't do that. Wait until your chart's open, and then from your control panel, roll forward one version at a time. I think that's how it works.
Or don't do it at all.
Or just don't do it at all. Yeah. Or let Bert walk you through it.
Yeah, if my charts are working, there's no reason to roll forward. And now there's a reason to roll backwards because sometimes the charts just stop working for the latest version in live. Anyway, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Go to the homepage here at mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button. You click on that. You'll be sent to this registration page. Fill out this little form. Once you fill out the form, you'll be sent a link to get into the next session. You'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. Now, down here at the bottom, if you have a Ninja, give us a machine ID. If you have TradingView, give us your login ID. Hit that register button, and we'll give you all the information that you need to get started. All right. The Russell just had a nice blue arrow short right here. This green arrow over here is not put in a higher swing yet, so none of this stuff in here is happening yet. None of it's happening yet, but we'll see if it does. I mean, these are all-time highs, so who knows if it's going to keep going up right now. I would think it probably will. We talked about something this morning or earlier this week. Dwayne and I, we were looking at this stuff earlier this week. Was it on the ES this week or was it on the NQ this week? I knew we drew some lines on here somewhere. Was it the YM? I knew we had done something somewhere and drawn some lines and saying this is what we think is going. I think it was the ES. We're saying wouldn't be surprised, and I'm almost sure it was up here. The 5660 is what I think I was saying. If I double click that, and then because the lines that I was drawing then, I believe there was something like this. There to there. It was earlier this week. It wasn't today, so this isn't the right line. I don't think it was on the daily though. But let me crunch this up and see if I can come up with it. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, this is what we were saying earlier this week. Right here, 5650 is what we were saying earlier this week. Okay, that was on July 8th, so 2 days ago. And so we've gone right through that. Now, where obviously I need some sort of retracement, but back here I was saying if we get a pullback at all, this was when it was in here, I think. When it was in here, maybe. We were projecting that. I was saying if you get a pullback at all, and that day there was this pullback down in here. I was saying look for call options. If you would have nailed the call options, then you'd be in really good shape right now. Alas, I did not give you a specific call option. I don't think anybody put anything out in the option channel. But anyway, that is it. With that, I'm going to wrap it up and pass it back out to fabulous James, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Wait, if you are ready to go.
Yeah, I had left my mic on, sorry.
Okay.
Okie doke. A recap of the morning session.
Today it took 8 minutes and one trade to get to $2,850 per contract.
That's a wonderful Wednesday.
It sure is. It's a fantastic start.
All right, guys, we left off on silver. Remember the weekly trading zones that you've seen throughout the broadcast were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. This is Tuesday. The vertical line separates Tuesday from Wednesday. Where did we find resistance yesterday? At the zone. Where did we find support? At the zone. So far today, we found resistance at the zone. And it looks to me like Price wants to drop back to the zone. But before it can get to the zone, it's got to take out this low. And it's got to take out this low. Is there a window of opportunity in there before you get to this low? Absolutely. But you got to get below this low. So let's say 30.91 to 30.89. That's 2 pennies. That's $100 per contract traded. And the last one, the euro. You know, it's gone kind of from zone almost to zone. But let's run through them all one more time real quick for those that came late. Okay, that's that new all-time historic high. And right up through the target, but then we hit the zone and consolidated. That's 70% of the time. 20% of the time, rejection. 10% of the time, the slice, which I explained earlier. We sliced through, then retraced back to the zone we sliced through, and continued in the direction of the slice. There's the Dow, resistance at the zone. Looks like that step line may want to cross blue and climbing. If so, anticipate a retracement back to the BBC. Russell got above the BBC here, consolidated at the zone, and then we hit the target, which was defined yesterday. Okay. That resistance sent us back to support at the BBC and the zone. That support has now sent us back to this resistance. Okay. In Q, these CTA targets, they were published 20 minutes after the open last night. Those change daily, but the zones, once they're published Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the whole week. We opened at the zone, we hit the target, we hit the zone resistance, which sent us back to the BBC support. Now we have, what did I say happens 10% of the time? We slice through the zone like it's not even there. But when this move runs out of steam, price will most likely retrace back to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. Does it happen 100% of the time? There's very few things in the markets that happen 100% of the time. Does it happen more often than not? Yes. Crude, we open, hit the target, found support for reasons that are off my screen. Then resistance that was defined on the final candle yesterday. This one here. It sent us back to support. It's low here. And then this is a mess. You don't want to trade a mess. Let price prove itself. Bang. We hit the long target as well as the short target. And then we sliced through the zone, and then we retraced back to the zone we sliced through and continued in the direction of the slice. Now, why did price stop there? Was it because of something that happened Tuesday? No, it's because of something that happened Monday. How cool is that? Resistance always sends the market back to support. Price always reverts to the mean. Pull back to the BBC holds more often than not, whether you're pulling up from below or pulling down from above. Gold, we opened above the BBC with blue and climbing and went right to the target, consolidated at the target, and then went right up to the zone, resistance, sent us back to support, which sent us back to resistance, which has now sent us back to support. Now this could keep dropping, okay? But remember, you got potential support here and here. Okay? That low right there, or that low. That low is based off that bullish cross right there. See how the blue line got above the green line? That's a bullish cross. Support. Okay, silver we just looked at, and it's dropping as we suspected it might. And the euro. It's getting below the BBC, but you don't have a lot of room to run to the zone. So, yeah, you gotta, I'd be careful on this one. I'd look for a different market to trade. That's what I do. And one last look at the daily, where we have now hit the all, right, let me make sure, 56.70.50. Huh, we're 2 ticks. So tomorrow on the broadcast, you're going to see me redraw the fib extensions. I'm going to connect this low to this high, to this retracement low, and then we're going to have new targets overhead, because price is now where it's never been before. So looking left will do you no good. You can become a member today by going to mytradingiq.com. If you have questions, you can call us today at 949-42-EMINI. You can always email us, support@cfrn.net. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have a teacher. That's why we have a live training room 2 hours every trading day. This is the, books are fine, courses are fine, Grumpy Guru's not so fine. Videos are fine, unless it's some cherry-pick video. But none of them replace having a living, breathing teacher, putting on, taking off trades live in real time, explaining every move he makes, every trade he takes, and the rule why. While you are asking every question that pops into your mind and trading along in your demo account so that you can qualify to go live. As a member, you not only have access to the live training room every day, but you get private one-on-one mentoring at no extra charge. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder, are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. That cycle has been in place since the inception of the markets. It will remain in place until the markets cease to exist. mytradingiq.com. Now, for the last 2 days, we talked about the joys of heaven. Today, our good word for the day is part 3. Revelation 21:4. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain. That sounds awesome. Sometimes we describe dying as crossing the Jordan. That's because the Jordan River runs into the Dead Sea. The story is told of an elderly Christian lady who was dying. For most of her life, illness had confined her to a bed or a wheelchair. The family gathered to say farewell. Holding her hand, one of her grandchildren asked, "Are you afraid to die, Grandma?" With tears of joy, she replied, "No, son, I'm not afraid of death, because my father owns the land on both sides of the river." What a powerful answer. In heaven, we're promised there will be no sickness, depression, pain, loneliness, fear, grief, or any of the things that make life on earth so difficult. God's word says in Malachi 4:2, "But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings." Isaiah writes in Isaiah 35:10, "The ransomed of the Lord shall return, and come to Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away." When we lose a loved one in death, the question arises, will I see them in heaven? Will I know them? Yes. You wouldn't know less in heaven than you knew on earth. Paul answers this important question in 1 Corinthians 13:12. "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as I also am known." Heaven will be the greatest family reunion of all time. And here's the best part: we will never be separated again. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.